Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It is Friday afternoon. Here we are at the weekend, and it is 20 Zulu on September 22nd, 2023. This is the weekend special, and boy, do we have a special for you today. It's Callum from DX Commander. Hello, Callum.
Tim,
Here we go.
a very good day, sir. This is an absolutely delightful meeting to have with you. Yeah,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, I've only had one other meeting with Tim, and he was in business mode, purely business mode. And I thought, oh, geez, when I've got to speak to him tonight, wonder what he's going to be like. But he's lightened up, ladies and
it's
gentlemen.
all
He's a
going to be
real,
good. It's
he's a
all
real
going to be
nice guy.
good. We got lots of people in the chat room.
Yeah, lovely.
Callum, how did this all get started? I mean, DX Commander.
Okay, well, I'll tell you. Just before we do that, just in case you've been living under a rock, a DX Commander is effectively, it was supposed to be dirt cheap fiberglass pole with a few wires running up it as quarter waves. But like all these things, when you commercialize it, you have to increase your strength and get your product and all the components right, so the cost unfortunately goes up. I wanted to keep this like a $99 thing, but it's impossible. How did it start? Good question, Tim. The potted history is that I was on holiday and I put a 40-meter quarter wave up right on the beach, And Tim, I don't know if you've actually operated maybe at 100 watts or even with an amplifier down at a beach, but you get another 10 dB, And I did say to Wendy, she said, what are you taking this huge box down? Because it was like a 4-hour trip, 2-week holiday. And I took the ACOM 2000 with me, and I told her that we needed the amplifier because the C attenuates the signal, right? Anyway, I had a ball on 40 meters for several nights on the trot, and because it was so quiet, I was hearing the little 100-watt guy with a G5 RV, even at my high power. And there was people going, hey, God, you're the loudest I've ever heard Europe and all this stuff. Great fun. But because I had 2 weeks, I'm just sitting there in my shorts and my T-shirt for 2 weeks, I thought, wouldn't it be good just to run another wire up the side of this, see if I could get 20, right? Now, there was a few bum steers along the way, but effectively, in the end, and it actually took another year, because there was some separation issues and everything else. And I got 20 and 40, and then 15 and 10, and then before you know it, I got 6 elements running up it. And we made 20 of these, handmade, out of square blocks of aluminium and drilling and tapping it out. I really enjoyed making these things. And we sold 20 of them. And then I found somebody who would take, flat aluminium sheet and water jet it, So, and then, I ordered 20 at a time. I still can't quite get my mind sometimes around the numbers. Because I'm used to ordering 50 or something, and Wendy's going, what have you done that for? We'd sell out in a week. So I have to. But anyway, it was supposed to be a hobby business, Tim. It was supposed to be. It was never supposed to be. Never supposed to be a real business. We had a real business. We had a big business, and I was winding down. I remember saying in the board meeting, because I'm like chairman of the board, I said, I've had enough around here. Why can you please sack me? I want to go and fiddle around with these antennas. To cut a long story short, that's what we did, and we got rid of the company. And couldn't sell it, actually. We had to just wind it up, press the buttons. But, and then I started doing it every day. And then Wendy had to help. We used to do all the kits in the kitchen, because I had a tiny workshop, smaller than in here. But we bought one of those. It's great when you have a real business. You can get all the little toys. Those weighing scales where you press the button and you can just take like a handful of washers and throw it on. It'll tell you there's 16. You go, I want 17 for a classic kit, I hear Wendy say. She drops another one on. Interesting, you become an expert. Apparently people with autism are good at this. She can now throw on 17 washers and know there's 17 washers. But anyway. So anyway, that's how it was supposed to be a hobby business. And we doubled every year for about 4 years. I don't think we're quite going to double this year. There's an element of how much can you sell, how big the market is and all that sort of thing. But anyway, there we go.
But guys love this antenna.
Why, Tim? You tell me.
Well, you guys love this antenna.
Well, we'll ask. We've got a few guys on the live chat as well. We can ask them too. But this is what I think. This is what I think. It does. It's a multi-band. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's no coils or traps and things like that. And I genuinely think that, when you start bunging components in, there's just a couple of dB loss here and there. So they get a thing there. They build it. Now, there's not much building to do, but there's a great sense of achievement when you build
Yes.
DX Commander, because it's like, wow, I've done that. Somebody called it visual physics. So when I build it, I can see all the quarter waves. It just works. It's not too expensive. The trouble is, and I hit the nail on the head to start with, when you start to go very high quality components, every time I upgrade the kit by $5 at my end, that means at your end, Mr. Customer end, it's going to be at least another $10 because, I've got all the increments.
Right.
So, because a lot of people say, oh, it only costs you $20 to do this or whatever else. I'm thinking, it's going to get on for near $50 by the time it ends up in your lap, But anyway, we're all marine plastic now. We're all PA66 clamps, and we use a really nice alloy. Actually, we have them tumbled, so there's a really nice finish on the alloy plates. Fiberglass poles, I haven't got a problem with. We got two. We got the classic series and then the signature series. I should have said the factory actually to put my little my signature on the side as well. Lockie gets all the orders, right?
Yeah.
And people that have watched my old videos.
Yeah. But Callum,
not the DX, not the
you're
DX.
out
Yes.
at Lord Howe Island right now.
Pardon?
PK9 LAA is using the DX Commander.
Is that right?
Yes. It was on all the news today.
Okay. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. There's a number of contest stations, funnily enough. Now, I know, I'm talking to one of the world's biggest stations, right? And I'll tell you a funny story about that in a minute. But there's a couple, if the 100-foot tower guys, with their like a 2-element for 40 and maybe a tri-bander at the top.
Right.
A lot of them have got a DX Commander on either a switch or the other VFO, so they can quickly, smack it. Mirko's one, actually. LA, I can't know. He's Serbia, I think. But I mean, there's a few contestations that have done that, particularly the multi-2 guys, where they got the multiplier fella, but they haven't got all the hardware. But anyway, you asked me a question. Why do they love it? I mean, I'm looking at the live chat just to see why do you love it. I think it's cost, and it works. Do you remember, Tim?
It's very simple. Yeah.
10, 15 years ago, nobody used a vertical. Well, I think maybe the Hustler existed then, the thing with the, but it was always like, using a vertical, they don't work very well. So I was really put off. I mean, I thought these aren't going to sell. Nobody's going to vertical. So I felt I've had a huge education piece that I've done over the last 4 or 5 years. And which is why today, every Friday, 12 o'clock London time, I use one of these and broadcast live on the internet and everything else. So people go, they do work, It took a while, though. It took a while, believe you me. Richard Powell says they're efficient. Quarter wave efficiency.
It's very efficient, Callum. I mean, it's just incredible the reaction from the customers.
Yeah. What do they tell you, Tim?
What
do they tell you? What do they say to you about it?
I think that, you put down radials, you put a DX Commander in, and you're all set to go.
I know. It's just easy, isn't it?
It is. It really is easy. And, we've got people in the chat room from all over the world that are fans of DX Commander, and you.
And you.
Got DK5ONV from Germany.
Yeah.
And also, one of the let's talk about how easy it is to set it up, Callum.
Yeah. It's one of these things that you need to get your mind around, I think. Tom M0MCX, he took the Expedition. which is compacts down to 2'2", 2'3", in his backpack, and he walked all the way around the Isle of Arran. Now, it's quite a big Scottish island. It's about 90 miles all the way around. He did it in 7 or 8 days because he's one of these military sort of guys. And he set it up every time he stopped at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Played his radio, one of those new ICOMs, the 705, is it? The little QRP-HF set.
Yep.
And I spoke to him every day, actually, from the shack. You know, just like a little tune-in thing, you know, little check-in, make sure he's all right and whatever. And he categorically stated on video that it's about a 10-minute setup. But, I mean, there is easier. Let's face it, Tim. Look at the guys with the end fed, right?
Yeah.
You still need a tree or something. I don't know, whatever. But if you're investing all that time and effort and gas, or petrol as we call it, or diesel or whatever else, to go somewhere, to have some fun on an afternoon, for another 2 or 3 minutes, you could put a DX Commander up, you know, and get all the benefits. That's a serious thing. Bill Myers, K-A-8-G-I-M, says there's almost too many benefits for the DX Commander to name. Inexpensive, multiband, no rotator or tower needed.
It's working.
Yeah.
He's on the air making contacts.
That's right. And, yeah, so there we are. I mean...
Yep. Very, very big fan.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's just... A lot of people want to know what they like under snow. I mean, they work under snow.
Look at that.
Out in Canada. Yeah, they're everywhere. People stick them all sorts. Somebody's made a little tilt-over base for his here. That's my old original tilt-over base. That looks nearly the worse for wear. So this is this little customer gallery. And people, there's one picture in here that I guarantee, I think, unless you've seen it before, I can make you laugh. And what he's done, they've gone camping, and on the guy lines, they've done their washing, and they've hung their drying underwear over the guy lines. And I've got to find it because it's just one of those classic. Here we are. It's one of those classic pictures, you know. Oh gosh. For some reason, this is on speed play, but anyway.
Yeah. No, it's great stuff, and Callum, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, great, thanks.
You know, and you just have to keep going.
Oh, it's all part of. Yeah, I think it was Ron Dennis. He is used to be the sort of head engineer, owner of McLaren Formula One Racing.
Okay.
And I was, one of these books or something else, how to be successful. And it was actually really sad. What I read is he said, success is never lifting your nose from the grindstone to smell the flowers. Oh, my goodness.
Because of Summit Racing, we call it keeping our foot on the gas.
That's right. Yeah. Tim, am I allowed to? Are we overrunning by a couple of minutes?
No, we're good.
Okay, fine. So, when did you first ever get into or understand that there was radio out there and it excited you? Can you remember?
Yeah, 1971.
Okay.
See?
Where were you? What were you doing?
I was in my bedroom with a crystal radio.
Really?
See? Yeah. Over 50 years.
Yeah. And then, so what was... Now, in case you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, Tim, with the help of some friends and a few checks, I'm sure, you built a hell of a contest station, right? You really
This
did.
is all real here.
Yeah, it's real. Now, so when is the first time you actually suffered, if that's the right way, like 3 elements on 40 meters at the wrong time of day, all of a sudden realizing, my God, there's DX out there that I didn't know existed. Can you remember that day?
I can remember that. And going from, a simple antenna on 40 to, having 3 elements. It actually was 4 elements on 40.
Yeah. How high, Tim?
At only 70 feet.
Okay.
But now, 260 feet. 3 or 4 over 4 over 4.
Yes.
the largest 40-meter antenna array in the world, Callum.
Yeah.
So
The ears on that must be. I mean, it must be almost like VHF. I mean, if you turn 20 degrees away from someone, they become a bit deaf, do they?
yeah, but it's okay. All the money is in Europe.
Oh, okay. From where you are, yeah. Okay, I took 4 DX Commander 10-meter poles.
Yes,
You'd be proud. You're proud. I made a 2-element 40-meter out of wire.
but we are so happy
Ah,
to have DX Commander and Callum as part of the DX engineering team. Um, it fits in my tiny garden. My landlord does not object, and it's all a win-win.
yeah,
So thank you, Callum, so much,
yeah.
and
Lovely.
we will look forward to more from you as we go forward.
Great. And I believe I'm live roughly this time tomorrow as well on my channel. So
Okay,
I will see you all soon.
good.
And Tim, if I might invite you one day onto my channel, and you
Yes,
can have a chat, and I'd like to interview you about all those great memories and the 4/4/4/4/4/4/4. And we can do
absolutely.
that then, if that's all right, sir.
It's all good.
Thank you.
And thanks to you, Callum, and thanks to all the viewers for watching today on DX Engineering. And we'll see you next week, 73.
Bye bye.